Hello, everyone. I see some people filing in here. Hi, Jason. Feel free to introduce yourself in the chat, say hi, as we kind of let people file in the next couple of minutes. Hi, everyone. We're just letting people file in as we come up on the 1 o'clock hour. So feel free to introduce yourself in the chat, grab a drink of water. We're probably going to start around like 1:03, 1:05, just to kind of give some people some time to settle in. And Marissa's going to be helping me moderate the chat, so she's also on our team helping out today. Okay, we're coming up on the 1 o'clock hour. Gonna, like I said, give it to 1:03, 1:05 to kind of get started here. Okay, hello everyone. I see some other people filing in. Lisa, happy you can join us. If you want to head over to the chat, say hello. Marissa from our team is also over there. We're going to give some people a few more minutes to file in. I hope everyone got their e-gift cards this morning in their inbox. If you didn't, let me know. And I'm happy to make sure it got sent over to you. And if you had a chance to order something today, I hope, and it's lunchtime around where you are, I hope that you're enjoying your lunch. I'm super excited to kind of start off this series and continue to have multiple of these every single month. So let's see, I'll give it 2 more minutes. I see quite a few people have just joined the past minute or so. So give it 1 or 2 more minutes before we dive in. The session is probably going to be around 30, maybe 40 minutes, depending on questions and how the conversation goes. I also will be sending out the recording and following up. So if you have to hop off at the bottom of the hour, don't worry, I can share that over with you. Okay. I'm going to hop in. I'm going to start by sharing my screen and kind of introducing the event, and we'll let Marissa, handle the chat. So if you have any questions or comments during the whole series, feel free to put them in the questions tab over on the right-hand side. So there is a chat section on the bottom right, and the icon next to that is the questions. Please put your questions in there. If a question comes through the chat, Marissa will be able to also field that question for myself. So let me get this up and running by sharing my screen. Okay, perfect. Okay, great. I see we have some of our clients in here as well. So super happy to have you all joining. So just to kind of kick things off, thank you all so much for joining our inaugural Lunch and Learn. The reason that Marissa and I started this series is because we found that today the space has offered a lot of webinars, which are super great and awesome. But we wanted to provide a space where you can learn something niche about your specific industry, about a new potential tactic or strategy that you can actually bring some tactical takeaways with you after 30 minutes. And so that's the goal of today, is to really dive deep into how we can convert healthcare talent by using text messaging campaigns in recruitment marketing. And so I hope, like I mentioned before, I hope everyone got their lunch or got their e-gift card, coffee if you're on the West Coast mountain time. But we're super happy to be able to share this time with you and dive right in. And so I know we have like some of our own clients in here, and also maybe some people that have heard our name around, but I wanted to kind of give first some context around what Dahlia is and what suits us so well to talk about text messaging in recruitment marketing, especially in healthcare. And so Dahlia is a candidate conversion platform. And you're probably not really familiar with what that is, because we've actually created that category in the HRTA tech space. And what it means is we focus solely on improving conversion rates throughout the hiring funnel that start from recruitment marketing all the way down through to hire. And the reason that we do that, we focus on this, is because improving conversion rates can happen quickly, doing the right things like I'm going to share with you today, and also can have a lasting impact on the organization, which doesn't require a system or cultural change to achieve results. And today in the labor market, but also in our big, large healthcare organizations, where things can take months, if not years, to be implemented with security reviews and legal reviews, being able to implement something fast and get results from it is really imperative to our clients and how they're able to keep up with their competitors. And so that's the kind of the goal today, is to show you how you can do something without having to bring 50 other decision makers in around the table, and it takes 6 months to implement, or a year, so to speak. And so some background around me as well. I've been with Dahlia for about 4 years now. I was the fourth employee here. And so I've worn many different hats, and I've worked at many different aspects of the company. My core focus is on anything and everything to help increase conversion rate and conversion performance for our clients and our products and campaigns. And I've learned so much about healthcare, job seekers, and healthcare, the whole market, by doing this. And I'm really excited to dive in. So let's go to the next slide here. So I just talked a lot about conversion rates, and where we're going to focus today is on these two conversion rates, kind of more top of the funnel conversion rates, because applying the formula that I'm going to talk about in SMS and texting will then increase your conversion rates further down the funnel. And I'm going to show you best practices, show you the data around it, and then at the end, I'll show you how this formula and this tactic will actually, well, one, directly increase this click-through and click-to-apply rate, but then also will have a positive impact on those apply to hire conversions further down the funnel. So before we dive into anything, I just kind of wanted to get a sense of the room on who, I have 2 polls for you, on who actually is using SMS in their hiring process right now. And then if you are, what part of the hiring process are you using your SMS for? So if you can just take 5 seconds to submit those 2 polls. It should have popped up right on your screen, but if you don't see it, there's a polls tab also right next to the chat. If you can go ahead and just fill that out. Very helpful, thank you. All right. Okay, great. So in terms of people, I don't know if you all can see the results. I don't think that you can. In terms of people using SMS in the hiring process, we have about 80% of people using that in their hiring process today, which is awesome. Happy to hear that. And about 70% of them are using it in the pre-application stage, and then about 10% each on the other stages in the hiring process. Okay, so you all are kind of on the path to success in terms of that conversion rate. So that's really awesome. And so when we talk about increasing conversion rates in healthcare specifically, I want to set the stage first by talking about these challenges. And I know none of these challenges are new to any of you. You probably talk about them day in and day out. And because they're not going away, right? The labor market is tight. Job openings are outpacing the number of available nurses, number of available imaging technicians, respiratory therapists, right? Nursing used to be the hot ticket, but now we're seeing that a bunch of different allied health roles are becoming the new nursing shortage. And as people are retiring, we're getting that shortage of skill and experience. So when you talk about schedule balancing, right? How are you supposed to get the right experience on the floor at the same time without getting, without getting your experienced nurses mad and changing that culture? And so there's a clear correlation as to why healthcare is our biggest client base, because as I mentioned before, you all need solutions that work quickly and at scale to meet your hiring needs. And when these clients that we work with, and some of them are on the left here or the right here, they're feeling burnt out. They were feeling like they were out of options when they met us. And the reason that they feel that way is because a lot of them weren't focusing on the root cause of the problem. A lot of them thought, I'm not able to attract enough talent. I'm not able to, win this audience over. And what we've been able to show is that the challenge is not in the ability to drive traffic. All of you can probably do that really well using programmatic advertising, all of your employer brand strategies. The main challenge is around converting that traffic efficiently and effectively to be able to meet those hiring goals. And this graph right here shows the conversion problem point blank. So this is from the Appcast Recruitment Marketing Benchmark Report that they put out every single year. And this basically shows the applications per click. So this is the percentage of applications that are completed per click on a job advertisement. And what people have accepted, because it's, as you see, it's kind of pretty stable year over year, everyone's accepting this conversion rate as status quo. But in a tight labor market, especially with this healthcare crisis continuing to go on, we can no longer accept that. You won't be able to be successful. We have to, when the times are changing, we have to look at new ways and new strategies to be able to increase this conversion rate. And so I'm going to show you today, and I can almost guarantee that every single person who's on this webinar right now probably has enough traffic or at least enough interest in their brand to hit those hiring goals. But you have to shift focus to the right area in order to get there. And I'm going to show you why SMS is the answer to that. because our formula has proven to increase other conversion points that I showed you a few minutes ago down the funnel. All right, let's dive into the juicy stuff. So how do you do it? How do we make text messaging this conversion powerhouse at the top of the funnel? And I want to remind you that for this formula and for this conversion formula, I'm focusing on the job seeker conversion at the top of the funnel, what gets them to act and engage, to click and to apply to a job. And so this formula is for the final mile, is to get job seekers who already have maybe raised their hand, shown some sort of interest, visited your career site, been clicking around on your jobs, interacting with your social posts, what have you. It's to target those job seekers. And we believe there are 4 pillars to strong job seeker conversion. The first one is mobile-centric. So obviously we're in a mobile world. Everyone is using their phone. No one has their phone further than usually their pocket away from them. And so any campaign that you run for engaging and converting job seekers needs to be run mobile-centric. Obviously, texting campaigns check that box off because we're sending them text right there in front of their eyes. The second pillar is fast, speed. I'm going to keep mentioning this because it's super important. In these tight labor markets, competition is always 2 steps ahead of you. You can't ever think that you're the one doing the best thing at the best time. There's always someone cooking up something in your neighborhood. And so what's really important is you need to constantly iterate and change. And you need to engage with these leads real time. So don't go try waking up cold leads from your database a year ago or your CRM a year ago. Those people, yes, you may be able to convert a few of them, but you really, in order to get the scalable and actionable impact, you need to be able to engage these people real time, the people who are showing interest today, 5 minutes ago, not 5 months ago. And we actually have kind of run some mini tests with some of our clients' data and shown that when our clients share with us real-time leads on a weekly basis, daily basis, by the minute, we're able to convert and get a click-through rate of about 50%, engagement rate 50%. Where if we take leads from 2 to 4 months ago of the same job seeker type, that conversion rate drops down to about 5 to 7%. And so that number just shows you how important it is to engage real time with these job seekers and take action when they are ready to take action. And something else with speed is automation's your best friend. I know there's a lot of talk about AI. People are nervous about AI, automation. You want to make this seem like a human experience. And in this case, when you need something to work at scale, this is where you want to lean on automation. You don't want to add this to anyone's plate. It can totally run autonomously. And a recruiter, who's trying to work on things further down the funnel, this is always going to get to the bottom of their list, managing campaigns like this. And the last thing about speed and fast is frequency. You want to send these campaigns as much as possible. We talked about getting in front of the job seeker at the right time, sending them alerts. We do it most of the time daily if there's given jobs available, because our job seekers have told us if we're interested in a company and in an opportunity, we want to know about new postings or different postings every single day. So we follow that principle. However, I know there is some skepticism. We get a lot of skepticism from our clients in the beginning when they're like, yeah, but we don't want to annoy job seekers. We get inundated with other recruitment marketing things or marketing things on the e-commerce side all the time, and it annoys us. And that is true only if you don't create curated experiences. And so a curated experience is imperative to the success of these campaigns. And it goes a step further than personalized. That word is thrown around all the time. Personalize this, personalize that, especially with AI, create this personal experience. People use that word and I think it's losing its meaning, because putting my name on something isn't going to make me feel special anymore. I react and I react to something and engage with something when they add value to me. And so you want to make sure in these campaigns you're adding value to the job seeker. And so if we apply this to the job seeking experience and we look at a standard job alert, say I have a job alert set up on Indeed. Indeed is going to match me most likely to a one-to-one job match with that job title. Sometimes it's based on location, sometimes it isn't. That's a little bit iffy. And when I get these job alerts from Indeed, say I signed up to, like, they think I want to be a manager based on my Indeed search, they're sending me all over the place. Project manager, IT manager, restaurant manager. And so when I get that job alert, I'm no longer, and it's not relevant to me, it's not curated to me, I'm going to disengage. I'm going to mark that off in my brain as Indeed is not a trustworthy or helpful partner in that part of my job search. So I'm going to stop engaging with those alerts. However, I have on this slide here expanded job matching. If you actually expand your job matching based on interest and qualification, not just on what the job seeker searched for, that is how you add value to a job seeker search. You want to open their eyes to all the opportunities possible at your organization that they would be qualified for. And so how we do this, for example, with our clients is we understand every single job title, what the qualifications are, and which jobs and job titles can kind of like cross-pollinate. So for example, if you're running a hospital system and you're looking for a receptionist, that receptionist may also be interested and qualified to be a patient transporter. So if they came onto your site looking for a receptionist job, instead of just sending them receptionist opportunities, which probably come few and far between, what our campaigns do, and to set up a successful SMS campaign, would be to then also match them to a patient transporter job or any other job where that qualification to be a receptionist would also match their search. And that's when you add value, and that's when job seekers start engaging, and they'll thank you for it. And the last pillar is cost effectiveness. And this one's not really necessarily for the job seekers to engage with, right? This is not going to get a job seeker to convert because they have no idea how much you are paying to get in front of their faces. But this one's all for you. You need to run campaigns that are sustainable, and you need to run campaigns that are scalable. And in order to do this, and a lot of healthcare systems, have hundreds, if not thousands, of open roles, every single text campaign you should run should be 100% performance-based. And what that means is you want to only pay for when that text campaign converts into something valuable for you. And for almost all of our clients, it means that job seeker actually submitting a full application on their ATS or their career site. And what this does is it allows you and your provider and your partner to align on what success means, and it makes their performance better. We're a huge proponent of this. We've always been performance-based, and it pushes us to go above and beyond what we can do, because we want to make sure that we are consistently increasing our performance for our clients. And our client retention rate speaks for that, because when we continuously increase our performance, we're able to deliver more value to our clients as well. So these are the key ingredients to a highly engaged SMS campaign for all healthcare jobs. And now I'm going to kind of dive into what the outcome is. What's the data? But before I do that, I just wanted to check in to see if there were any questions. No? Okay. Marissa also let me know if there's any questions. And if anyone has any questions real time, feel free to either raise your hand using the react button on the bottom, or throw something in the chat and I can totally come back to it. Okay, so let's dive into the data. This is the fun part. This is the numbers. So we gave you the formula, we gave you the best practices. Now, what is this going to result for you? And so what I did here is I want to look at email versus SMS, because these are the two main platforms that we're communicating with job seekers, sending job alerts, sending job matches. And what we found, again, this is pulled from all of our healthcare clients over the past 30 days. I just looked at the most recent data, pulled it this morning, that Texting is 8.6 times more effective at engaging healthcare job seekers than email is. And I'm going to keep coming back to it. Tight labor market, right? We need to find new ways to be competitive. You need to find new ways to stand out of the crowd. Well, texting is going to put you way, way, way ahead of your competitors. 8 times better than your competitors. And so I had mentioned before, right people, right time, right place. I think that's another overused saying in TA, but it actually applies to this situation. Being in front of job seekers, being on their phones, gets them at the right time, gets them at the right place, because SMS is real time. No one's flooded with unread texts, but how many unread emails do you have in your inbox? Probably hundreds. And so it's a lot easier to get lost in the noise when you're sending an email job alert to a job seeker who probably is working for 8 hours a day, got 300 other emails from Amazon and what have you, and now you're all the way back down at the inbox. And that's why we see the click-through rate on email so significantly lower than text. And so as you see here, we want to run through the data with you. We sent about 250,000 emails, got about a 4.5% conversion click-through rate on that, so people clicking on our jobs, which isn't so bad when it comes to email. But when you look at text, text is blowing email out of the water. With 100,000 texts, so way less text messages sent, we were able to generate 39,000 clicks on jobs in those text messages. So that's 39% click-through rate. And so what that means for you all as healthcare leaders is you can be way more effective per message sent. So if you're thinking about that rural location that you have to hire for, that's always a topic of every meeting. How are we going to get more nurses in, a random town in Oklahoma? This is your strategy. SMS should be your main strategy, because what this is saying is you need less leads and you need less traffic run with this formula in order to convert them back into applications. So this is the paradigm flipping on itself. Volume is no longer necessary or imperative to hitting those hiring goals. Of course, you obviously need some sort of volume. But if you look at SMS versus email, you don't need that much more volume when you do SMS. So now that we've established that SMS is awesome and it's great, I wanted to look at and show you how this applies across different healthcare titles. So what this graph is showing you is click-through rate by healthcare job title for SMS and email. And so what this is showing is the purple line is the click-through rate for SMS, and the greenish blue line is the click-through rate for email, dropped by job title. So a few things to call out here, which I think are really, really cool findings. One is some of the toughest roles that our clients have filling are at the top of the leaderboard here. Nurse practitioner, imaging, lab tech, nursing leadership, right? These are tough, harder to fill roles. And look at how strong that engagement is on SMS. Almost a 60% engagement rate on SMS. It's also not surprising to see these hourly roles up here. Case coordinator, facility services, rehab services, because hourly job seekers are more likely to also be on their phones. And another thing to call out here, because I know CRNAs are also extremely difficult for our clients to hire for, their engagement with email is pretty much non-existent. So if you want to start targeting CRNAs, you should be implementing a texting campaign. And so what I want you to take away from this slide is, and to consider, is just maybe start testing with some of these job titles, some of these job groups, because this is supposed to give you hope. This is supposed to show you that healthcare job seekers are engaging with job opportunities. You just have to put them in front of their faces. And this is another slide to kind of support that as well. And this is just showing you how much greater the text click-through rate is to email click-through rate, from greatest to least. And what this shows here, again, CRNAs, you have to be texting CRNAs, those hourly support people, EMTs, lab techs, imaging techs, right? 31 times greater engagement on text and email. And so, like I mentioned before, this is just to give you hope. This is to allow you to say, okay, this is a new and underutilized strategy and platform that I can actually reach out to these job seekers and have them reply, have them engage with me. And so I know we're coming up at the bottom of the hour here, and I wanted to kind of wrap this up in the next 5 minutes. I wanted to go back to the beginning. Where is this having impact, right? We said we're focusing on this click to apply and this click-through rate, and we just saw in the past couple of slides, SMS is killing it. It's blowing email out of the water. But how does that impact those conversion rates further down the funnel? Well, it's because engaging people over text in any sort of nurturing and drip campaign builds brand loyalty, because they see your brand over and over again. And when we go back to like the third pillar of curated experiences, they're seeing your brand name with these expanded job matches that you're then opening their eyes to different opportunities they didn't know were available. And so now you're in front of their face and you're adding value. And so, as we all know with human behavior, as you continue to add value, that person is going to start listening to you and they're going to start engaging with you. And that's why we see with this campaign and these formulas, that engagement rate so high. And then the third thing is, that is why when they actually come through and complete an application, they're more excited to start working at LifeStance Health, or they're more engaged to start the interview in the hiring process, because they're in it, they're ready, they've seen your name over the past couple of days, maybe over the past couple of weeks, and finally got the right match to take that time to apply. And then the other part of it is it works so well because it cuts through the noise. Like when I tell you how underadopted this SMS channel is, it's so underutilized. So there's no question that when you use this properly and use this formula, you will stand out of the crowd. And it's a key to winning that piece of the pie. But I bet you in 3 to 5 years, everyone's going to be doing this. And so take that margin lead as you can right now, because if you all are here, you're thought leaders, are thinking about new things, take that margin and run with it. And in another 5 years, there'll be something else new to try. But you don't have a lot of time until more people hop on this train and use this. And so SMS is your answer to standing out of the crowd, thinking outside of the box, and really flipping this tight labor market on its head. And so I wanted to kind of leave you with the impact. So we talked a lot about those conversion rates. So what's the impact? How is this increasing that conversion rate, click-through rate, click-to-apply rate in the top of my funnel going to actually trickle down further down the funnel to my interview to hire rates? Because that's what it all matters in the end, right? Like you still need to make your hires. And so this is how our campaigns run. This is a source comparison between the applicants that Dahlia delivers to other sources from our clients that don't do this text nurturing and don't do this remarketing. And this is consistent over every single one of our healthcare clients, maybe not these exact numbers. And what I want you to take away from this slide here is not necessarily getting into the numbers, but really just seeing the difference, right? You see that Dahlia is somewhere between 4 percentage points, 2 to 4 percentage points higher than every other single source for our clients in their apply to hire ratio. And so what that's telling you all is that the quality that these texting campaigns can deliver is bar none to any other source that is delivering applications to our clients today. And so last thing here I want to share is like, how do you get going, right? How do you do this? I shared a lot about this formula, and I'll share this recording with you all after this, but start by doing some research. talk to people, talk to different providers. You can talk to me. I'm offering a free one-on-one consultation to all of the attendees here today. I don't normally offer this, but I wanted to thank you all for being here and to kind of give you some time to kind of put this into action. And what we can look at this session is your current talent attraction strategy. We can look at the job titles that you're having trouble hiring for and attracting for, and we can look at, okay, how can we test different campaigns? And then an ROI simulation. So given this performance base, given your CPA, what is the return you should expect on different campaigns like this? So this is like no strings attached. I'm happy to really be a consultant on this. So I'll leave you can scan the QR code here to book some time with me. I also will leave my LinkedIn in the chat here if you want to direct message me. But that's pretty much it. I wanted to leave a couple minutes before 1:45 for questions if there are any. And other than that, we're going to be doing these very often. Next week is for high volume employers. So not really necessarily in the healthcare space, but keep your eye out for different topics that we're going to be going over month over month. And yeah, super excited to have you all join. I see some people typing in the chat. Just going to wait a few minutes for these questions if there's any. You're welcome, Melinda. I see Jason typing. Yes, you have a lot more texting to do, Jason. Yeah, and feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help you strategize if you want to test out some different campaigns. All right, it seems like that's the end of it. Again, any questions, specific questions? Thank you all so much for joining. I'll share this recording with you and follow up in the next couple of days. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Bye.